don't know that there's too much to really report on DC, man. I think a lot of people are still having the same conversations. I think on the corporate side of things, like I'll tell you this, since we last spoke on Friday, I did watch some more reporting, and I watched this segment on CNBC that was quite interesting. And the guy made this point, right? And man, I really wonder how you guys feel about this. The guy basically said to me that when a company starts this process, when they start to allow other companies to start to look at the data, and they actually have other companies approaching banks, essentially, this genie does not go back in the bottle. That in their experience as financial analysts, it has basically never happened that this process has started like this and didn't get wrapped up. In some ways, some of this is an exercise in futility. In some ways, this is posturing, and some of this stuff is bidding more bullshit, you know. But like at the end of the day, an expectation has been set with the customers, an expectation has been set with the boards and the shareholders, an expectation has been set with the executive team, an expectation has been set in the market, an expectation has been set to the regulators, an expectation has been set that this is happening. And CNBC said they basically think it's going to be sold by Christmas. That all indicators and everything that they've heard from sources indicates that this thing will be sold by Christmas. And I mean, I guess it kind of depends on where you were at with this as far as how much does that affect you. Because there are some people out there that still don't think this thing is going to be sold. And I don't see anything to support that, guys. You know what I mean? I don't see anything to support that. I don't see how they what is Zaslav going to say? Nobody gave us a good enough price. I guess we'll just. Do you know what that would do to the stock price? Like you got to understand, we're in a different place now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, well, I guess nobody wanted it for what it's worth. Let's just go do what we've been doing. Like, that doesn't happen. So this shit's gone. Bye-bye. Now, there's a lot of questions as far as what does that mean for the leadership? What does that mean for the company? Now, again, nothing really has changed there. The last we heard, there were some people reporting that they want to keep everybody there. You know, there were reporting that said they want to keep creative teams of the studios separate and together. Guys, there's no way of knowing that that's actually what they're going to do. The only thing that says is that info is out there, possibly just to quell some concern, quiet some voices, maybe make regulators comfortable. I don't really know, but I'm telling you right now, like I've heard some things that bring that into question. I don't know that that's going to be the case. And if you really look, again, this is a personal take. This is sort of just the way I see it. You look at technology, AI, you look at entertainment, you look at Hollywood, you look at the fall off of Hollywood, you look at the brand damage of Hollywood, you look at what's going on right now. I feel very strongly things are going to get shaken up. I feel very strongly that things are going to be shaken up. But I don't know. You know, it's so funny, man. Everybody has different takes on this. You know, I saw Grace kind of had this take that she thinks Gunn should technically stay but be demoted. And I'm just like, that's not. I mean, that's not what happens in these situations. Now, Gunn is somewhat of a unique entity in that he might be willing to do that, but that's like. In the corporate world, that doesn't we don't usually do that kind of stuff. You can do a measure of it, like exile from Rome instead of losing your citizenship, right? Like there's ways that you could do that, but it's just usually not the case that that's like a half measure. You know what I mean? That's a half measure. To what end? And I just don't see that. I don't see that as an outcome of the scenario, you know? But of course, we wait and we see. So that's basically it. There's been no real updates. I think the thing's still being shopped around. Again, there's some kind of curious reporting that I heard indicating that Paramount had some really interesting plans to like sell license to its streaming material to the other big streamers, and it might want to get out of the streaming business. But that seems so weird because Paramount Plus has I think built a pretty strong catalog, and I think HBO Max has as well. However, if you look at what's going on with Amazon, there have been some interesting things going on with Amazon where they will put in stuff from subscriptions. And I think it's actually helped a lot of Apple stuff get a really big pop because Amazon, and I don't know, maybe fucking the guy that made one of the biggest companies ever is actually pretty smart, but over time, the plan to essentially force people into Prime Video by basically just having what you could consider regular shipping abilities now, Amazon Prime, has worked. Massive amounts of people watch Amazon Prime. Massive amounts of people have access to that. That is why a lot of their shows are able to chart. Even Gen V was able to chart on Nielsen. You know what I mean? So it's pretty wild. So what I'm saying is like, it is possible that Paramount and the Ellisons are thinking of things that like are going to shake things up in ways that I'm not even anticipating. You're not even anticipating. People aren't even anticipating. Like, what if they buy this thing and they literally say Paramount Plus? Well, I guess they can't take Paramount Plus away because they just did this massive deal with the UFC. But maybe that makes it make sense as to why they're not going to raise the price because they're going to license off the content, lean on the live events. I don't know. That's like a whole nother thing. But like, so they might just destroy HBO Max then. They might just fucking destroy HBO Max. I don't know, dude. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of different opinion pieces. I've been reading a lot about it. I find it really interesting. I'm just not really, I don't know that any of the stuff, as I've tried to be consistent on this. I don't know how much of what we're hearing right now is accurate insofar as it's going to like give us a better understanding of the outcome. I think we're getting narrative. I think we're getting speculation, and that's fine. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with it, guys. What do you think, man? What do you guys think about DC? Like, what do you guys think of this whole situation? It's a pretty big deal. I mean, right now, arguably some of the biggest stories in entertainment are going on. Unresolved. We just don't know what they mean. But we know it's going to be a big impact. What do you guys think? R.I.P. HBO Max? Maybe. It might be R.I.P. HBO Max. Don't get rid of HBO Max? I think HBO Max could go, dude. I think HBO Max could go. I don't think they have a strong enough catalog. But they do have that Harry Potter show. Maybe that'll be a big success for them. DC will be picked apart by vultures. Maybe. It's going to be... I'm so fascinated to see what happens with DC, man. HBO is a cultural establishment in the brand. Yeah, so is Kodak, though. So is Blockbuster. HBO Max is expensive, so it's probably not needed if it can be merged with Paramount Plus. Yeah. Yeah. Sopranos carries HBO Max. Sopranos isn't even good. You guys are crazy, dude. I hope they cancel that Potter show. Yeah, 0% chance on that, bud. But I hear you. I understand the sentiment. I'm not interested in that show at all. I got to be honest with you, though. I wasn't interested in that show from the jump. I'm like, what are we doing here? You made some of the most classic... Like, what are you going to do? Get all the best British actors, the most acclaimed, fucking incredible British actors of all time again? No! You already did it. This shit is legendary. The fucking Harry Potter movies are fucking legendary. So I don't give a shit about that show. Let's see here. Snyderverse is returning. All DCU verses remain. Maybe. Maybe. Wouldn't that be cool? Piatti Diddy says, got the HT General Grievous, my first. Rip my wallet. Yo, how much was that bad boy? You're talking about the Hot Toys Grievous? I bet it's lit. I bet it's lit, dog. Hot Toys General Grievous. Let's peep this shit right here. Oh, 400? Yeah, that is an expensive one. Not as pricey as it could be. Did you get the collectors? Which ones you get? Collector's edition, special edition. What'd you get? Yo, shit is so cool. Damn, dude. Papa George made some fucking cool characters, huh? There's no reason General Grievous should be as cool as he is. You know what I mean? Like, he has no right being as cool as he is. And he drops all those, like, weak as fuck one-liners, but it's just kind of badass. Time to abandon the ship. You know? Mm-hmm. 500 after shipping and taxes and tariffs. Whew. Well, it's a good thing the U.S. government paid that tariff for you, though, you know? What's going to happen with the House of the Dragon after the Game of Thrones spin-offs? Good question. I think they have, what do they have? 3-4 more seasons of House of the Dragon planned? I mean, there's some big... Dude, they're going to tell the whole story of the Dance with Dragons, right? Which is going to get real crazy. I'm interested in what they do with Daemon, by the way, because there's conflicting reports about what happens to Daemon in the books. They have Knight of the Seven Kingdom. There were rumors of other shows. There was a Jon Snow show. There's a lot of like rumors of stuff that didn't come to fruition. I think right now they got House of the Dragon. They're cooking. They're going to do Knight of the Seven Kingdom, which seems like a little bit of a smaller show. I even heard rumors that they might do movies, man. They might want to go into the movie theater. So pretty crazy. We desperately need more Grievous content. That would be kind of fun. I would not be mad at more Grievous content for sure. Ahsoka with a $50 holla. Thank you so much. That's very generous. Says, here, Josh, some support for your problems with the PC/cam. And yet again, thanks for everything. Love to you and your whole family, and love to the chat. Oh, it's very sweet, Ahsoka. Thank you, Ahsoka Tano. Appreciate you. Yeah, we're trying, you know, I'm not going to lie. It was a very frustrating week. I think within the next couple of days, I should be able to get this dialed back into pretty much where it needs to be. Although I do think it's probably time to get a new PC. So probably going to get a new PC soon. Yo, by the way, chat, I don't know if we're doing Nerd Theory tonight. Theory has become a cowboy from what I understand. I look at his Instagram and he's like, you know, and riding on horses and shooting stuff. And so I don't know what's going on with this guy. You know what I mean? And God bless him, man. I wish I could just fucking go be a cowboy right now and not have to deal with all this stupid tech bullshit. But yeah, I honestly don't know. I'll text him later. I don't know if we'll have a show or not, but like, he's like riding horses and shit. So I would assume he might be busy, so maybe I'll just be playing Arc Raiders. But anyway, point is, appreciate you. We'll get it dialed in. We'll get the new PC. These things happen. You know? It's just the timing of it's a little odd. You know, I was like on fire, making a bunch of incredible videos. Kind of feeling myself, to be honest with you. You know, not to be egotistical, because everybody knows I am actually the most humble. I'm actually really, really humble. It's a virtue. But I was kind of feeling myself, dude. I was like, God damn, dude, I can do this content thing. I'm good. I can do this content thing. And then the universe was like, what if like you couldn't though? Yeah. What if like you couldn't though? And I was like, oh shit. Well, I guess I'll just rage. But again, thank you. JT Hiskey says, I watch your live streams while I work overnight as a nurse. Thank you for all that you do and keep up the great work. Oh, that's awesome, man. I used to work overnight. I've worked third shift at restaurants. And then I also, one of the most odd jobs that I ever had, but I'm actually glad that I had the job. I was a janitor, guys. Dead ass. I was a janitor. Me and my roommate, we were janitors. And we had a couple of buildings in town. We had like a couple of banks and a hospital. And dude, I'd sometimes work a shift. I'd sometimes work the restaurant shift, like a Friday night, come back into my college town, go home, pick up my roommate, and then we'd go to the hospital, hit the banks, like clean all night. And it was really interesting. It was a really interesting gig for sure. Look up Ellison putting nearly $1 billion into leasing major New Jersey film lot for 10 years. This could be for Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah, we touched. I appreciate you, Cruel. So we touched on this a little bit last week. It's fascinating. Yeah, that could be real. Like, as in, he could actually be trying to turn New Jersey into Hollywood a little bit, or to turn Jersey into a place where Hollywood type business could be going on simultaneously, which would be fascinating. So yeah, I did hear about that. The truth is, though, if New Jersey becomes the next Hollywood, then I'm going to say that I fucked up because I didn't know how good we had it. It's one of those, like, you don't know what you got till it's gone situation. Hollywood right now, full of weirdos, crazy, absolutely horrible. Have you been to New Jersey? Do you know about the Guidos? Do you know about them? Do you know about the construction workers, let's say, over there? Like, look, I'm not trying to get canceled. New Jersey's got some problems. Okay? Yes. So, guess we can't. This is why we can't have nice things. So what happened? Because, Bao, you can't clean that once at all. I don't know what that means. They're taxed too high, I'd say. Isn't the property taxes in New Jersey, like, insane? I heard one time New Jersey has almost more billionaires than any other country. Or state. Nerd theory tonight? I'm actually not sure, LK. I'm not sure. I'll text theory later. I'm kind of doubting it, though. Day 653 of telling Josh to take his PC to Best Buy or buy a new PC. I'm going to get a new PC. I tell you what, I'm probably just going to pull the trigger and buy like the $5,000, $6,000 Starforge, John. I haven't like completely decided, mostly because all of you keep shouting at me, just build your own. Just build your own. I'm like, I don't want to build my own. I want to buy I want to throw money at the problem and not think about it anymore. Thank you. So that's probably what I'm going to do, is just buy that. I recently met Paris Jackson through a close mutual friend. How do you feel about Nepo children in the industry as a whole? Thank you so much. I don't know who Paris Jackson is, but, you know, the Nepo thing is interesting. Like, Nick Cage is a Nepo baby, but he changed his name to Nick Cage so that he wouldn't be a Nepo baby. You know what I mean? Like, he's actually the Godfather homies, Coppola. He's a Coppola. Yeah. Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, but he didn't want to have the Coppola name. He was Nick Cage, okay? And then there were other people that use the name to get into places, and, like, I don't know, man. I mean, on the one hand, I'll say it to you like this. Do I like it? No. Is it the worst thing going on the planet? Absolutely not. There's a lot of other injustices out there to worry about. And also, too, there are some Nepo babies that actually are really talented, too. So, yeah. But he took the Coppola money. But he didn't leverage the Coppola name to get acting gigs. That's the point. You know? Look, one of the biggest Nepo babies of all time is J.J. Abrams. Like, his family, his dad, his mom, literally without that, like, I don't know that J.J. has a career at all. Because I think J.J.'s a pretty unremarkable director, actually. You know what I mean? Like, he's serviceable. But I think even JJ would tell you, like, there's this. Have you guys ever seen the thing where J.J. Abrams says, if you love The Force Awakens, he questions your sanity? Have you ever seen that? I actually think JJ's super aware of how average he is as a filmmaker. But also, like, fuck it. It's not like he's not going to take the work, you know? The industry knew who Nick Cage was? Maybe. Back in the day, though, I don't know that that's the case. I don't think that it's the case. Nowadays, though, yeah, probably right, yeah. It's not that hard to build a PC. Oh, I know, Phantom. I'm not doing it because it's hard. I'm not doing it because I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to do it. Like, I just want to, like, spend money and have a fucking incredible PC and, like, plug it in and not have to worry about it. You know? Doesn't that make sense? Like, isn't that cool? I think that's cool. I think it's cool to be like, yeah, but nah. Plus, there's a ton of YouTube videos if you get stuck. Yeah, I bet there are. I could do it myself and had a PC shop do it for like $200. Yeah, dude. Come on. Is Nerd Theory happening tonight? I'm actually not sure. I've said this a couple of times. I'm not sure. Thoughts on Gunn starting his DCU with issues that comic book movie fans complained was degrading the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Too many shows, C-list characters to focus. Yeah, I think there's sort of an emerging narrative, which is a little bit of an uncomfortable one probably for James Gunn fans, for like super, like big fans of James Gunn. But I think there's kind of an emerging narrative that James and his sensibilities might actually be responsible, not just for the fall off of DC comic book stuff, not just the fall off of also Marvel comic book stuff, but actually the complete fall off and the degradation of the entire genre. That this man, this boy, man, boy, may have actually destroyed everything we all love. So yeah, it's possible. It's easy to destroy a motherboard if you don't know enough of the basics. Yeah, I think that is maybe what I did to mine. Like, not destroyed it, but like, I think it's fucked up a little bit. Josh, I'm here. Okay, great. Awesome. Movies are dead again. Wait, what? Man, Bear, Pig Boy. Yes, that's it. Buy all the pieces and have Best Buy build it, dummy. Dude, why would I do that? What fucked up satisfaction would you get out of that? Who made you care? Holy. Blame it on the tequila. It actually was the tequila. Both times. I can't go 2 weeks in a row without Nerd Theory. It would actually be 3 weeks if we don't go tonight. But yeah. Do you think Warner Brothers is stopping Gunn from making his Batman? No. I mean, no. I mean, it could be more complicated than we are aware of, but no.